2025 George Old Car Show is the 28th rendition of this wonderful event, which has arguably the best backdrop of any car show in the country. This year we have a British theme for the show. We have a collection of over 20 Bentley and Rolls-Royce cars, which is highlighting the special British theme for the show.
This is a 1952 Bentley drop-head coupe. It was built by Park Ward and it's one of 57 made. We left on Friday morning in Port Elizabeth and I drove the car up to George. She tends to overheat a little bit because she loses water all the time. She throws out a little water. So like every 120 kilometers, you just stop, let her cool down a bit and add a little bit of water to her again, and then she's good again. But it's a wonderful drive, easy car to drive. It's very powerful, so there's no problem of heels or overtaking or anything. I don't drive fast, I usually do 50, 55 miles per hour. It's an old car, so I nurse her. You always get a lot of attention around people waving and hooting at you, and a lot of people, they come up next to you and they take videos and wave. So it's always a lot of attention when you drive it. I think it's a show for everybody this year. Over here you get all kinds of cars and all kinds of people. You get the real enthusiasts that come here. It's just got a laid-back, wonderful, friendly feeling.
Grace, pace, space. That was the payoff line for Jaguar's advertising slogan in the 50s and 60s. As far as the pace aspect of Jaguars went, it took until the early 90s before we started to attribute raw power, speed, and strong performance for the name Jaguar again. And that occurred with the X-Ray-R.
We've been here a while. We've been here for, I think, 8 years or so. And this year we've brought this lovely XJR and the 126-500 SEC. We collect cars with my family, my dad, my brothers. We just love cars. We've got a workshop of ours, so we prefer to drive the cars because it also proves to our clients that we are able to fix cars that can drive a distance. They need to experience the drive because it teaches you a lot about your car. So you get to spend time with an old car on the road and you get to reminisce and get the feeling that the guys had when they first had the cars when they were brand new.
I've got a 1958 Aston Martin DB24 Mark III. 3-litre straight 6 engine. It's got 3 Weber carburetors, amazing power, very lightweight, full aluminium body, beautiful car to drive, very comfortable. Just the way that this car is designed, every line on it. There's not one line on this car you can look at that doesn't look beautiful. I purchased the car from a gentleman in Oslo with the name of Ron Hollis. He owned the vehicle for 42 years. It was a barn find. It was being used to cart hay around as a farm vehicle. Ron restored it. Ron created the paint color. He calls it mistake red or by chance red. It's just a color he came up with by mistake. And he spent a good number of years looking after this car. Knowing the work he'd done on it, the condition it was in, the way it drove, I knew it was a good car. It was just nice to bring her out and for him to actually be here as well today. I know he's very proud of it. He loves the way it's come out. We've done small little changes to the car. Nothing mechanical, just interior, done a little bit of refinement, a little bit of restoration. Other than that, this is how I got the car. The first time I drove her was to Port Elizabeth for the gentleman's drive. You know, just cruising. And because of the weight, it's so nice to drive on the open road. And it's a great car. As you drive it, people are hooting at you, people are waving, taking photos. It definitely turns heads.
It was a great idea to have a British theme for this year's car show because it attracted quite a few rarities, many of them British origin, and one of these was the 1912 Rover.
My name is Ryan, and this is my 1912 Rover Colonial. This car was known as the Colonial for the reason that it was made for the South African, for the Australian and the New Zealand sort of market at the time, which means they were just a little bit more raised, these cars, had bigger wheels and just a bit high off the ground for the clearances for the terrible roads back in the day. It's a 4-cylinder 2.2, so this is the 12 horsepower, and it's a very simple motor. The car doesn't have a water pump like conventional cars, it's just the siphon system. It also doesn't have a fuel pump at all. The fuel's fed straight from the top of this tank. It's gravity fed down. It's got a 3-speed gearbox. It's a crash box, so there's no synchro, so you have to time everything. We've done a bit of research. Obviously, it's very difficult because there could always be 1 or 2 cars sort of in a barn somewhere. But from our knowledge from the Rover Club and from some of our research that we've done, this seems to be the last remaining one in the world with still matching engine numbers. For me, what always brings me back to the old car show here in George is just the sheer amount of cars, the variety of cars, and the people. I mean, we have a big group. We come every year from Cape Town. We usually do something known as the Vet Tour that's organized by Philip Kushka, one of the coordinators here at the show, puts on a lovely show, and then we drive our veterans for usually about 150 to 200 kilometers on the Friday before the show. Everyone's sharing the same passion.
One of the questions you might ask yourself is, how do you improve a car show that's in its 28th rendition? And one of the ways is to constantly reinvent it, which is what they did this year with the George Old Car Show having a British theme. And we have to say that in terms of general acceptance and public popularity, this is one of the best shows to date.